everyone, my name is Jeanette Ramos and I'm the founder and CEO of It Takes a Village Housing. It Takes a Village Housing is a nonprofit organization geared towards helping mothers get the services that they need to raise their children. It's going to provide not only drug treatment services for our mothers, but mentors for our children, home economics for our mothers. This is going to be a one-stop shop that's going to provide for our families. Drugs and alcohol seem to be a big part of our society, and how we eradicate that will be based upon what we do for this population. We're always looking for donations. Help us out with those donations. Anything that you can give would be a great help. We're always looking for beds, we're looking for toiletries, we're looking for money, and anything that you can provide us would be of great help. So if you're willing to provide this population with a second chance at life, check out my website at ittakesavillage1.org, or you can email me at ittakesavillagemom@gmail.com. Here's to It Takes a Village Housing, and I look forward to meeting with each and every one of you.
Let's go! What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Dano, television show host of Weekly Dose of Dano TV. Welcoming you guys back to another episode of Weekly Dose of Dano TV. I had a little bit of a 2-week hiatus because I was out and about exploring the world. I was actually in the same spot. It was Washington, D.C. both times, funny enough. But man, it feels so good to be back. I'm going to be honest with you guys. Those Thursdays that I was at these, in D.C. both times, it was 2 separate events. But both times when it was 6 o'clock on Thursday, all I could do was just kind of feel a little bit guilty that I wasn't here with you guys, sharing the positive moments. But you already know we have to go out there and we have to be the best that we can be. So I guess I had to recruit some other people for the Positivity Posse. I guess I had to touch some other people's hearts for those 2 weeks in a row. And it's like I always say, man, it's a very popular phrase, but it definitely is true, is that everything is a lesson or a blessing, 100%. So there was a lot of lessons that I learned in these past 2 weeks that I wasn't here on the show with you guys. But man, so many great things have happened ever since I went out for these past 2 weeks. But all I could think about was you guys, my Positivity Posse, and I just couldn't wait to be back here because I'm telling you guys, I'm not just saying this just to say it. This is my favorite time of the week. My favorite hour of the week, more than sleep, more than eating, is to be here with you guys, sharing all of the knowledge and sharing all of the stories that the world really needs to hear on a week-to-week basis. I mean, we cover, I sound like a broken record saying it, that number one, you guys, I have the best positivity posse in the world. I have the best supporters in the world. And number two, I always explain to these people when I meet anybody, I always say, oh, I have my television show. That's not the first thing that I say. If it comes up, it comes up. But I always say, yeah, well, come join the Positivity Posse. And when I was talking to all these different types of people, I was explaining to them that we cover so many different topics here on Weekly Dose of Dano, whether it's, people that have survived sex trafficking. We've had NBA players come on. We've had movie stars. We've had animal activists. We had so many different ranges of people come on. But that's what makes this show so fun is, number one, listening to all of your ideas, all of your comments, and everything that you have to say and pouring into me just as much as we're pouring into you. But just to know that there's a common theme that I always notice, whatever the guests may be, whatever they're promoting, or whatever they come on to talk about, their story or their journey, or maybe it's a product that they got to promote, or whatever the case may be, it's always this, is that no matter how bad things really may seem, you'll get through it. There is a light at the end of the tunnel all the time, 100% of the time. I mean, that has been a big thing that I've noticed within, myself too, is that sometimes when I was talking to all these different types of people, some of them have a positive outlook, some of them have a negative outlook. But at the end of the day, no matter if it's positive or negative, hopefully we're going to lean towards the positive side. But no matter the case, you will fight through whatever it is that you're going through. I mean, think about all the things and all the obstacles that you've had to overcome to be here right now watching me live, or you're watching me on the replay. And just the fact that we're here together, you had to overcome so many things. And, I don't like to compare, some people's negatives to other people's negatives, because we all have it differently. None of us have it worse. But, if you have people that have survived the sex trafficking trade and, they've overcome drug addictions and they've overcome, negative people in their life, or whatever the story is, all of that stuff, man, it's all noise. Just push it to the side. You need to focus on the things that you want in your life, because one of the things that we're going to talk about here is, in the past 2 weeks, I want to share my experiences with you guys, but it's not from a point to say, oh, look at me and look at what I've done. No, of course not. That's not the point. My point in sharing some of my, adventures and experiences and, everything that I've gone through these past 2 weeks and forever in the future, the reason that I'm sharing it is to help you understand that everything that happens in your outer world really is a reflection of what goes on in your inner world. I could tell you what the National Space Society event that I just did this past week, I guess you could even make the case that the Thinking Forward or Thinking Ahead Symposium, there were people from all over the world. I mean, just in the National Space Society, the International Space, ISDC is the correct the acronym for it. But even with these two events, there were people all over the world coming together for one greater good. And one that really reminded me of what we do here on Weekly Dose of Dano, where we have people watching from all over the world and coming on the show. The guests, we've had international guests, all coming together for one grand purpose, right? But if you're thinking only about the small, minute details in your life and the negative things, you're not going to be able to experience the things that you want. And I know for me, traveling the world is one of the things that I know I'm going to do. And just the fact that you see all of these different types of people pop up into your life in these certain experiences and these circumstances, it's just a reflection of what goes on into your head. So like I said, I'm going to travel the world. And what do I see now as a reflection of that? I see people coming from all different parts of the world to come over. And I'll share, this part a little bit later too with you. I have people already inviting me out to go to Canada, to go to Rio, to go to all these different places in the world. But none of this stuff is going to happen if you don't, number one, assume that what you think about or what you want is already going to happen, no matter the cases, no matter the circumstances. Number one, you have to have that unwavering faith that anything that you do is going to work out in your favor, and it's going to be that way. It's not going to be it's not going to end up in like a failure. It's not going to end up in disappointment. It can't, because when you operate from a place of love, everything that follows right after that is going to be in that same caliber. It's going to be in that same frequency and that same vibration. So with all of that is to say that whatever you're going through right now, please, there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and anything that you want to achieve, you will be able to achieve it. But you have to take the right steps in order to do it. I mean, you can't just sit in your room all day and lay down and just watch YouTube or Netflix or play video games and expect somebody to just knock on your door and say, hey, you, I have an opportunity for you. You want to come take it? I mean, it's very rare, unless you know somebody, that may be the case. But for most of the instances in this world, that is not going to happen. You got to get out there and you got to take action. So if you truly think and you truly have faith in a higher being, or you truly have faith in yourself, you need to have the actions to really reflect that faith that you have in yourself. Because, that's kind of a hypocrite. If you say that, you're going to do X, Y, and Z, but you don't do the actions in order to take it, then there's a miscommunication within yourself, and there's something that's not balancing right within yourself. So you guys already know what's coming up. What we're going to do, since I've been so busy, I haven't had a chance to do the on-street interviews. So we're going to play an older one, just in case that there's somebody watching right now that may not have seen the older on-the-street interviews before. But before we get to that, we got to do two things. Number one, if you're watching this right now and you're rocking with me, I need you to drop a hashtag Positivity Posse, so I know that you're here. I know that you're in the moment. I know that you're giving me good energy, just like I'm giving you guys that positive energy. And, when you deposit that good energy into the world, man, it comes back to you 10 times over. So just because you're watching this right now doesn't mean that you're not involved in the show as well, and doesn't mean that you can just sit there and not do anything. No, this is an engaging experience. This is a two-way street. You feed into me, I feed into you, and the universe feels that. And I'm telling you, you're going to receive that 10 times over. So here we go. Thank you, Lou. Hashtag Positivity Posse. Thank you, Jeanette. Hashtag Positivity Posse. You guys are amazing. David Vardaman, let's go. Jeanette and Lou, it's Dano's time. This is our time, because y'all already know whatever that I receive is, it's because I pour into you guys and you pour into me as well. So this is our time. This is the Positivity Posse's time. So throw that energy right back into yourself, because I hope you've done that today, man. Just because, some things, just because it was raining outside, or just because you may have gotten a flat tire, whatever the case may be, please make sure that you're throwing this energy that you're throwing into me back into yourselves as well, because we deserve it, because we all know we survive things and we all go through a lot, but just make sure that you're always giving that into yourself as well. My man, Sonny Von Cleveland, coming. See, this is what I'm talking about, international. I believe he's on the West Coast, and he has some very, very great things in store for him. And I know that he's been working on a new business. And when I tell you guys about somebody that's overcome a lot of stuff, I'm not going to throw his business out there, but my man right here, Sonny Von Cleveland, he's actually, I believe he was one of the first three. I think he was the second guest to come on the Weekly Dose of Dano platform. And just to see how everything has evolved, if you guys want, you can go check out that episode. It's not going to be as entertaining or as good as it is right now, because we all know with experience and trials and doing different things, we needed to go through all of that in order to bring it to where we are today. So, Sonny, my man, what's going on, man? I'm sending you positive energy and light. Faith, guidance one to personal success. Dano is right. One's venture out to new activities to continue to grow as an individual 100%. David, you hit that right on the head. And, I'll give you guys a little spoiler alert, man. I went to go visit my guy David down there in DC too, but it's just, the reason I'm sharing that is, like I said, this isn't just you come on and you watch the show and you comment. No, you're pouring into me just like I'm pouring into you. I'm going to keep saying that, because actually me and David's been on the show before as well, and we actually met up in person. So like I said, you never know when our paths might cross, or you never know how much you might help me out or how much I might help you out. But I'm just super, super appreciative. I'm just super appreciative for everything that you guys got to do. My man, Sonny, all right, we could do a part two. I hope you're ready, though. It's not going to be the same time as it was the first time. The first time was a little trial run. It was a little test. This time, you're going to come on and we're going to give you the weekly dose of Dano experience. So let's get it. So like I said, we're going to do the street interview. We're going to replay another one of that. But before we do that, we got to do the affirmations for happiness right here. All right. So as you guys already know, we just flip to a random page. And whoever this is meant for, I hope this hits you and I hope this helps you out for your day. 144, that's the one I'm going to choose. Let's put it to the screen. Let's put it to this. What? I don't understand why it does that sometimes. I guess my camera is acting a little up. I mean, I don't know if I got to wipe it, but I'll just read it to you guys. So here it is. I always deserve more happiness, not less. When I'm upset, I deserve more happiness, not less. When I'm stressed, I deserve more happiness, not less. When I'm happy, I deserve even more happiness, not less. So there you go. There's a rule that, everybody believes in different ideologies and different strategies. But there's a rule that if you think about a thought, Abraham Hicks talks about this. If you believe in a thought and you focus on the thought for 17 seconds, that is the momentum in which that thought is going to manifest into your life. So if you're thinking about a positive experience and you have positive emotions, that's going to be reflected into your life in the future. And if you have negative experience, a negative emotion or a negative thought, that is also what is going to manifest into your experience. So make sure that if you are in that negative mind space, and maybe right now, and maybe tomorrow, but just please remember this point that I'm talking to you guys right now. Remember, you deserve more happiness than whatever it is that you're going through. And just because you may be going through a tough situation right now, man, there is a lesson inside of it, or it may be preventing you from something worse even happening to you. So, there was I can think of countless experiences, but there's always two sides to the coin. So always make sure that you're focusing on the positive side, because that's the side that is going to work out in our favor. So without further ado, we're going to play another interview from, it's really hot right now. So we're going to, let's see, which one should we select? All right, I'm going to choose this one because I'm going to be honest with you guys. I forgot what happened inside of this interview, and I forgot the question that I asked. So I'm just going to ask this one, and we're going to rewatch it. So here it is for you guys. Let's go. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Dano, television show host of Weekly Dose of Dano TV, and you already know what we're doing for today. We're going around the streets of Philly, asking everybody the questions that you need the answers to. Let's get it. Sir, what's your name?
My name is Ja Toller. People call me Ja or Fear.
If there was one thing that you can tell your former self, a piece of advice, what would it be?
Yeah, listen, man, I'm big on staying weird, staying different. Right now, I got the Jean-Michel Basquiat, who's one of the legendary, iconic, graffiti artist. And he was big on just staying weird, being yourself. I would tell a younger Ja, 10-year-old Ja, continue to do what you're doing. Fuck what the naysayers say. If people doubt you, they don't love you, be you. Because at the end, like what they say, you're only crazy until it's done, and then you're genius, right? So I say just keep being different. Because when you're different, it stands out. If I came here to be like everybody else, I'd be forgotten. Yep. If I be me, I'm going to be a vessel for the world, and the world going to love and respect it. So be yourself. I would tell myself, just keep going, man. Don't give up and follow your own path. It's okay not to follow the pack. Be your own self and watch how great you'll be if you just do you and be you and be the best. Because we're all different and unique in our own way, but it's up to us to make the most of it, man.
What's your name, miss?
Antoinette.
Antoinette, I'm Dano. It's nice to meet you.
You as well.
Thank you. So, if there's one piece of advice that you can give to your younger self, what would it be?
I would give my younger self to be patient. Take your time. There's no rush. There's no rush to grow up. There's no rush to do a lot of different things.
What's your name, miss?
Sarah.
Sarah, if there's one piece of advice that you can give to your younger self, what would it be?
I would have studied and tried to be the very best parent I could be.
To specifically mention the family portion and the parent aspect, why does that resonate with you? Or why do you want to speak on that?
Because there was so much of the unknown when I was a parent.
Sir, what's your name?
Felix.
If there's one piece of advice that you can give to your younger self, what would it be?
I'm thinking. You're making me think. Because it's something that I haven't been asked. All right. Don't stay quiet. Don't stay shut. Talk. Find somebody to talk to. because sometimes I stay quiet and I shut so many things up inside of me that it's crazy. I feel like I'm lost now. And yeah, stay on track, go to school, go to college, and give it your best.
Sir, what's your name?
My name's John.
John?
You're looking you or there, where?
Wherever you
Anywhere.
want,
All
wherever
right.
you feel comfortable. If there's a piece of advice that you can give to your younger self, what would it be?
Ooh, don't sweat the little stuff because it's all you're gonna figure it out in the long run. I think nowadays there's a lot of pressure and anxiety around knowing exactly what to do all the time, 100%, or having a fully fleshed out plan for your life and what you want to do and what you don't want to do. And it almost never works out that way, in a good way. So you're gonna have opportunities that are gonna go great, opportunities that are gonna go poorly, and just don't put so much pressure on yourself to have it all figured out right now. You'll get there.
Awesome. So everybody, that's the segment for today, and we got a bunch of great answers, but you already know I got to give you my spin on it. If I would give one piece of advice to my younger self, it would always be to follow your heart. And it may not even make sense. It can be the craziest idea that you can possibly think of. If you operate from a place of love and understanding and making sure that you're trusting your intuition, that means the result of everything that's going to happen in turn has to come from a place of love. So you're just going to receive that back. You know, don't just be wild out there. If your heart says to go try heroin, I'm going to say to stay away from that. But make sure that you're doing it in a calculated way and that you're taking the right risk, because I firmly believe that we know what we need to do. And there's a reason that it's coming into your mind. So I hope everybody has a great day, and thank you for watching the segment. Peace. So that was the segment, everybody. Man, I'm gonna let you guys know something right here. If you don't have a water bottle, if you don't have a water jug, container, whatever you want to call these, that's insulated and it keeps hot drinks hot and cold drinks cold. Yo, this investment right here was one of the best things that I've purchased in a long while, because I know a lot of people kind of have trouble with like drinking soda and juice and tea and all this other stuff. And I was in that boat too. I just kept drinking soda all the time. And I was like, damn, I feel like crap. And now since I have this kind of keeps me accountable with drinking as much water as I can. I try to drink 2 of these a day. And like I said, it's as big as my head, probably bigger than my head, even though I do have a pretty big head. But this is a pretty big water bottle. So like I said, if you don't have one of these, make sure that you're making the investment in yourself and getting one of those. Why is that going down? Let me know if you guys can still hear me too. It just fell off the thing, but I think we should be all right. There we go. So here is some of the stuff that we said. I would tell myself to stay in Athens, Greece. David, why would you tell yourself that? Let everybody know what the logic is behind that. What great advice. Don't sweat the small stuff, 100%. And I think that's kind of what I was talking about earlier too, is a lot of people, I know exactly what it is now. I know what it is. Sorry, I was looking at the focus of the camera. Oh, that's what it. So this past weekend, there was a photographer that I met, and he has been published all over the world, and all these different things. And I said, "Yo, would you be able to adjust my camera for a little bit, just so I can have the same settings as you?" Because I know with photography, I don't know the first thing about photography. I just know how to take pictures, but all the settings and all of that extra stuff, I don't know how to do any of that. So I handed him the camera. I said, "Yo, can you just please work some magic on it?" And he changed the settings around a little bit, and I think he took off the autofocus. So that's why the camera is not in focus, and it just hit me right now. I was like, why is this not looking as good as the other ones? But that's all right, though. We got to continue to do it. So it's a beautiful city. I've never been, but that's one of the things that I'm talking about. When you have different things going, when you have those worldwide views and you have those experiences, anything that is less than that experience, you're not going to accept into your life, because you know what's meant for you and you know what you want in your life. The camera looks amazing. Hey, look, maybe I'm just being a little bit too hard on myself. I just got to do that. Maybe I got to take my own advice and not be too hard on myself. So for the second half of the show, what we're going to be talking about is we're going to be talking about the experiences that I've had. Like I said, the Thinking Ahead Symposium, hosted by David Vardaman, was actually the host of that. all the way in Washington, D.C. And we're also going to be talking about the experience that I had with the NSS, the National Space Society, capturing their stuff, capturing their content. And yeah, it was all great, amazing things. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to take a quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere. Make sure that you're sharing this amazing content with your people, with your friends, with your strangers, whoever it may be, because you never know who you might be helping by doing this. So don't go anywhere, and we'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody, to the stream, to the segment, to the episode, to the great, juicy content, whatever you want to call it. Welcome back. Those are just a quick word from our sponsors for everybody as well. And I just got an update from my computer. I'm actually running two computers right now, and it was talking about the NBA Finals for tonight. And as you guys already know, I love my basketball. If you're watching this right now, let me know who you think is going to win. I'm going to give you my prediction right now. I'm going to say the Warriors are going to win in 6 games. The reason that I think that is because they have way too much playoff experience. And they're just that good of a team. I mean, look at all the people that they beat to the playoffs. And like I said, that experience, once you have it, is absolutely amazing. And I actually have a good friend of mine who is a Celtics fan as well. And I just want to see, I don't want to give them that satisfaction, man. I want the Sixers to win a championship before the Celtics do. But even if the Celtics do win, which I don't think they're going to do, congratulations to them. And whoever wins. I mean, think about these people that are following their dreams, that are following their destiny in order to achieve that accomplishment of winning that NBA Finals. I mean, that is a lot of hard work just to get to that road. But like I said, I do think that that's what I'm saying. I just don't like Boston sports teams. The Patriots, when Tom Brady was on there, they would win every year. Like I said, the Celtics, I don't know. I just don't like Boston sports teams. It's just my thing, though. So that's what I'm saying. I think the Warriors are going to win. So getting back to this, I want to share with you guys, like I said, I took some pictures as I was going along through my adventures, through my experiences, whatever you want to call them. So we're going to go in order. All right. So we're going to start with this one. So right here, this was just the suit that I was rocking. You already know I kind of had to show out a little bit. But when I was meeting some of these people, man, it was just so awesome to hear about their stories and to hear about their journeys. And this was right before the event started. So just talking, mingling with everybody, hearing all of their experiences, because a major theme of the Thinking Ahead Symposium was about the lifetime of service that these people were always doing. And the keynote speakers were two of them. There was Al Bunbury, and Al Bunbury was actually he's in the Orioles Hall of Fame. He played for a few different teams, but he's in the MLB Hall of Fame for the Orioles. And then the other gentleman was Rocky Bleier, and he won 4 Super Bowls in his time. So I guess, that was a good segue to talk about the finalists, because, Thinking Ahead Symposium was about not just about sports, but just having the lifetime of service and just paying it back forward to everybody that served them as well. So, and that was kind of the thing that I wanted to focus on going in, because if you guys didn't already know, I've never served in the military or the Army or anything that all of those, any branch. I didn't serve. But I love to always give back to people just as much as I'm giving into you guys. And I think that was the common ground that we could all find, is that, the selfless acts that everybody provides for themselves. For them, it was, playing in the sports arenas and to serve their country. And for me, I love to have this for you guys. And, last July, I did I had a whole month of July dedicated to the servicemen, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to do that again this year too. So that was just one of the pictures that I took over here. I believe in this next one, it's just a little video of what was going on over there. So it was all good stuff. Like I said, the house was jumping. There was a lot of people there. And all of these people were there just to be a part of something that were bigger than themselves, and to have that act of always giving back and always pouring into other people as well. So that was just a little video that we took. Thank you, everybody. The suit was pretty fire. Like I said, this was the Rocky Bleier. He was the running back for the Steelers, and he won 4 Super Bowls. So it was cool just to hear about their experiences. And I'll tell you this, actually, I don't want to give away any spoiler alerts, but just keep that name in your brain, Rocky Bleier, because that's all I'm going to say about that. Just keep an eye out for that name. I'm just going to tell you right now. So at the end of Rocky's speech, it was pretty interesting. He goes, I think all young people in today's time should serve. And, looking at everybody else in the crowd, I'm like, okay, let's see who he's talking to. If he's directing that to anybody. And I'm looking at everybody, and the average age of people there were a lot older than what I was. So I heard that statement, and I was like, wow. To be able to serve, you have to be a special kind of human, because I don't think I could. I mean, not to say that I couldn't have done it, but it takes a special type of person to want to go down that route and to support their country as well. So if you've served in the Army before, if you served in any branch, please let me know if you agree with that line of thinking that all young people nowadays should serve in the Army. I think that's a pretty good question and a pretty good line of thinking. Like I said, I don't think everybody should. I think if you want to be there, and if you want to support not support your country, but if you want to serve your time to your country, I think we should let the people that want to be there actually be there, because if the people that don't want to be there are there, then it's not going to produce the same caliber of men and women that serve in the United States Army. 100% hats off to all of the servicemen and servicewomen that have donated their time, their energy, their talents, their efforts to be able to make sure that we're safe. I feel like that's a big thing that people kind of overlook nowadays, is definitely the fact that we have all of this freedom inside of the United States, and we are able to just say, hey, well, I'm going to hop into my car, I'm going to go have some drinks and some food with some friends, share some good times, or hey, if I want to drive all the way across the country, that I can. Just the fact that we have that freedom is possible with everybody that served in the military and is serving in the military. So, thank you everybody that has served, because this freedom, I think we kind of overlook it on a day-to-day basis. So thank you for all of the work and all of the time and energy that you do for us, that may be unsung. All right, so let's see. Hey, this is the man right here, David Vardaman. David Vardaman was the guy that, the gentleman, the man, however you want to call him, was the guy that hosted the whole entire event of the Thinking Ahead Symposium. He's done a lot of great work for servicemen, and it was just cool just to, like I said, share a drink with him, talk about all of his ideas and everything that he has going forward. It's all great, amazing stuff. I believe this was the Orioles. Here you go. You already know we had the show out for David's event. So this is Al Bunbury. This was the Orioles player, Hall of Fame, that we were talking about. Just having a good time. Look at that smile on this man. Let me zoom in for you guys. Let me zoom in. Oh wait, no, wait, no. Oh, it's where. All right, here it is. Look at that smile, man. That's what I'm. See, you see what we do on the Positivity Posse? We affect the world in so many different ways. My man was grinning from ear to ear, but it was just such an amazing event. You know, that's how you know it was just such a good event, because everything, you could just feel the positivity and you can feel the energy in that picture, 100%. David Vardaman was the man of the hour. He did a great job organizing the event, 100%. One of the best events that I've ever been to. So hats off to my guy, David, as well. Let's see what else we got going on here. These were just some of the other people that were in the audience and having a good time and pouring into other people. These gentlemen served as well. And it was just nice to hear about all of their ideas and all of their experiences and all of their successes and all of their failures. Because, like I said, when you can learn from somebody that's older than you, or you can learn from somebody when you can learn from somebody that's older than you, and you can learn from somebody that maybe has a different background, you can take all of their failures and their successes and their lessons, and you don't have to repeat their same mistakes. And you can take I'm not going to say less hard way to get to where you want to be, but now you could be mindful of all of the pieces of advice that these people have to offer to you. So if you cross that same path, or if you go through that same experience, now you have some arsenal and you have some clip in the ammo, however you want to say it. Now you have some experience to go with you, and not make the same mistakes that they may have made themselves. So this was just some other people that were there. And here's another fire video that I had to take for you guys. This was in the hotel room before we were leaving to go to the event. So it was cool stuff. I actually took that after the event was over. So I mean, just to listen to all of these people, we still got more to show. So let me stop sharing, because I don't want to give away all the secret sauce just yet. We still have another half of the event that I have to share with you guys. But one of the things that I learned about this event is exactly what I mentioned before, is just because you may not have the same background as somebody, we all have a common ground and always trying to give back to the next person. So just because I didn't serve, or just because this person may have a different skin color than me, or this person has, different goals that they want to accomplish, all of that stuff really doesn't matter, because we can all find common ground in order to meet new people and really live the life that we want to live. And, that was just some of the things that I've learned for that. So now to talk about the event last week that we went through, it was that we were able to go through. Let me not say went through, because when you say went through, I feel like that kind of has like a negative connotation to it. And it was not the case at all. This was definitely probably the best event that I covered for E360. As you guys already know, if you didn't already know, I'm a producer for the E360 television network. Let me bring out my plaque, because now I kind of want to, so I am an associate producer with the E360 television network. And I've covered a few events so far. So when I say cover events, I mean, we go out to these people's events. It could be a 1-day event, a 3-day event, or a 5-day event, however long it is. And we set up all of the equipment to capture all of the essence that goes on and all of the great things that happen at these events, whether it's, testimonials, or whether it's capturing the energy of the audience or the speakers, whatever it may be, we go out there and we go to capture it. But this has been my favorite one so far. For a bunch of reasons. So number one, this was the first time that I've ever taken a train to DC. And I've taken the train to New York, and, I've taken the train to Philly, and it's been okay. But I don't know, just looking at some of the views that we were going through, I think taking the train to DC has been my favorite so far. And that was kind of a new experience because I've never taken a train for 2 hours. I mean, it was a long time, but it was definitely a great experience. So I stayed at the Hyatt, and it was a 4-star resort. I mean, 4-star hotel. It was just so amazing. And the reason that I'm sharing that with you guys is because I know that I'm going to, like, you know what I say, once we refine all of our thoughts that are going on in our head in the positive light, it's just going to manifest in that way too. So, all right, I have this written down here, and I wanted to share it with you guys. Not everything that you think about, if you think positive all the time, that it definitely does help 100%, but it's not going to be all rainbow and sunshines and butterflies. So I want to share with you guys one experience that I had, and this is probably the only thing, so I'm really nitpicking, but it really bothered me, this event that I'm going to share with you guys, or this little scenario or situation that happened. So towards the end of the event, it was the last day, and I was the director of hosting all the interviews and bringing people to talk to the camera and kind of like their testimonials, to say how much of a great time that they've had and talk about their experiences or some of the things that they've learned. So there was this one lady that comes over. She goes, "Oh, I want to do this." So I said, "Okay, sure. We're going to make it happen." So this lady had, a heavy accent, and you can tell that she was Spanish or Latino. So it still bothers me to just think about it, but I'm going to share it with you guys. So we're talking, I'm asking her a few questions on camera, and I'm asking her whatever. So then there's one question that I ask her, and here it goes. I say, "Well, listen, in the space community, because you can just tell by the people that were in attendance, I would say that probably 90% of the people that were there were older white men." And that's not to say anything. It was just my observation. And, as you heard about some of the debates that were going on over there, or, some of the things that everybody was talking about, it is what it is, because they've dedicated their whole life in order to study this stuff. So like I said, it was 90% of like older white gentlemen. And the lady that I was interviewing was of a Spanish Latino descent. So I asked her, and a woman at that. So I say, "Listen, can you talk about how it feels to still be included into this event while being, a woman of color and, a woman of color, because that's a double minority in that, in that conference." So then she goes, "Oh, well, I really don't want to answer that question because, it's not, I don't want to send the wrong message." So in my head, I'm thinking, how could you possibly send the wrong message if you're there and you're supporting your people and you're supporting, being a woman and representing those two minorities in one? Like, you should be proud of everything that you've done. So, I try to rephrase the question so that she tries to answer it, but she's just not budging. And then she goes, "Oh, well, they're going to be able to tell what I am just by the accent of my voice." And I'll tell you why this really bothered me. So growing up, and I went to, I grew up in Camden, New Jersey, which is, if you don't already know, it's one of the hardest neighborhoods to grow up in, a lot of gangs, a lot of, violence, drugs, all of that good stuff. But I actually had the wonderful once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to go to a private Catholic high school, which like 95% of the people there were, white. So growing up inside of this, and going to high school there, I kind of was embarrassed. I'm going to say it for what it is. I was kind of embarrassed about, speaking Spanish or throwing my culture into the school and, things of that nature. So I know what it's like in order to suppress yourself, in order to try to fit in with the community or to try to appease certain people. So it was once I got out of high school that I promised to myself I'll never do that again, because I am a Puerto Rican male and I'm going to be proud of that till the day that I die. And I'm always going to make sure that, I'm always going to try to spread my culture wherever I can. So to me, I took it that this lady was trying to assimilate and try to fit in with everything that was going on around her. And she was just like kind of had this embarrassment to her. And I was so so upset because you have the opportunity to put on for your people, and you have the opportunity to put on for women all around the world, that just to show, hey, space is not only limited to this type of person or to these type of people. And she was just so against answering that question. So it really bothered me because, man, wherever you're from, whether you're black, white, Spanish, Asian, no matter, you should be proud of who you are, and you should be proud of how, you got selected to be where you are right now. And like, I think that everybody comes to this earth with a certain agenda, and we actually pick the bodies that we want to appear as on this earth. So you should be proud of everything that you have going on for yourself. But like I said, that was the only thing that really bothered me. And I'll tell you this, when I was there, and I want you guys to really understand this point as well, because wherever you're going through right now or wherever you may be, always be yourself, and don't diminish your character or don't diminish everything that you believe in for anybody else. So at this conference, everybody was dressed in suits. Everybody was dressed, pretty formally. And then there was me, even though I was behind the scenes and behind the camera, I was walking around everywhere. And I was in a button-up, like, Hawaiian shirt. That's all that I rocked all weekend. I was in jeans, and I had, foam posits on. I had basketball sneakers. And I represented myself in the way that I was the most comfortable. And I will not appease, and I will never stop being me just because there's everybody else in the world that dresses a certain way or they speak a certain way. And I can tell you this too, mostly everybody there had a space background. And I was one of the few people that did not have a space background. But the reason that I'm telling you this is because, one, never stop being who you are for anybody else in this world. And number two, I'm going to tell you this, is that at the end of the night, it was the last night, and we were all just sharing a moment. It was me and a few other people. And one of the ladies says to me, she goes, hey, listen, I really want to thank you for the way that you dressed and the conversations that we had, because you were authentically yourself 100% of the way. And I know a lot of people here, aren't in that same capacity as you. And it's these moments where you start to become yourself, and you don't care about what anybody else thinks, or you don't care about how anybody else dresses. Once you have that confidence and you operate to who you are, everything else does not matter, and everything is going to work out in your favor once you do it that way. But if you start to live a lie and you start to kind of shun out some of the facets that you have, or kind of, try to appear a certain way, that's not living to your true self. And then the experiences and the opportunities that may potentially be there may not be there anymore because you're not giving that vibrational frequency to the universe or to a higher being or whatever you decide you believe in. Because think about it, if you're like kind of shameful and you're hiding things away, that you don't want to happen to yourself, then that's a low vibration. So that's all you're going to get in return. So like I said, but besides that, man, there's one more thing that, I did see that too. A lot of people wear Jordans with suits. I saw that at the Power of We Symposium. I think there was about 3 people there that had Jordans on with suits, but I respect it. They're not diminishing what, if they think that that's stylish to them, then they're like, hey, this is me. You're going to accept it or you're not going to accept it. And one more point that I want to talk about is always please detach yourself from expectations. So I was going into this space event not really even caring about space at all. My mindset going into it was, I'm going to have a great experience. Just because I don't know too much about space doesn't mean that's going to hinder my experience. I just know that I'm going to have a great time, and I'm going to meet the people that I need to meet, and everything's going to be great. So what I was going to say with that is just because, don't be so worried about the outcomes that are going to happen. Because even though I was going in not knowing anything about space and making sure that everything that I knew was going to happen was going to work out for my benefit, that's when the magic really started to happen. I learned so much this weekend about myself, about space, and why people should even care about it. When I was telling the lady, I said, lady, listen, I really don't know the first thing about space. I'm here to just capture everything. And she was like, man, I really want to share with you that when you have that idea to go into space, that's when mankind can really start to advance. Because if you guys didn't already know, we have so much technology now because we wanted to go into space and to explore. There's two major things that everybody should know. Number one, GPS technology would not exist without space. And I can tell you, cell phones is another thing. Damn, it's getting hot in here. I gotta open up a window. And cell phones as well, because Star Trek was actually the first idea and the first place that, we opened up something and we were able to communicate. So a lot of great things have come from space. If you don't know really much about it, I would advise that you look into it, because there's a lot of great things that have come from it. And right now we're going to take one more quick commercial break before the end of the show, because man, it's hot and I got to drink some water and I got to open up this door. So don't go anywhere and we'll be right back.
Except I received this insight about a title called Prisoner of War. The book.
Whew. Sorry about that. I had to take a little break because, like I said, it was getting mad hot in here. Oh, look, you can probably see the fan right here. So, like I was saying, man, don't ever stop being yourself for anybody, or just because you may be in a certain environment doesn't mean that you have to necessarily blend in with everybody else. Because it was that when I decided to be myself, a lot of people respected that I was me. And we actually had a great time and great conversations because I wasn't attached to the outcome. I wasn't going in there thinking, okay, I need to meet exactly 5 people and I need to make X amount of money and I need to have blah, 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 blah. Because when you go in that, when you go in with that mindset, you may miss out on the opportunity or the person that you may need to speak to because you're so laser focused. And you may be so focused on one person that it could be the next person over that you're the ones that needs to talk to. But always make sure that you're, that you're detached with outcomes too. Because even with people, like let's say it's not even an experience that you're going down to or an event that you're attending to. Maybe it's one of your best friends, right? And you know that they're always there for you or whatever the case may be. But let's say one instance that this person doesn't do exactly what you think that they're going to do. That is an attachment to an outcome because you expect them to do what you're thinking about. And it's not going to always happen that way. So make sure that, like I said, there's so many reasons and so many examples that you can give to not be attached to certain outcomes. So make sure that when you're living life, you go, have an open mind about everything, have an open heart, and you never know what things may pour into you that can be a surprise. And always, one more thing too about surprises is that once something happens to you in your life, please don't be surprised if it comes into your existence. So if you're expecting great things to happen to you, if you're expecting opportunities to happen to you, please don't be surprised if these things do actually end up showing up to you. Or let me not say if they do, when they actually show up to you. Because it's the same analogy that I can use is like ordering a package from Amazon. If you're scrolling down the website, you pick the exact thing that you want, you see the delivery date that it's going to come to you, and then you see that it's on its way, and it arrives at your front door, you're not surprised when that package shows up. You're expecting it to show up. So when you're working on your mind and you're being that positive soul that you always have going for you, don't be surprised when these things happen in your favor and the things that you ask for actually do end up working out for you, because you asked for it. So asking you shall receive, right? So I just want to give you guys a quick update about some of the things that we have coming on in the future. Next week, we're going to have Kyle Spirides. I believe that's how you pronounce his last name. He's come on the show before. He was the soul gazing photographer, where he would take a picture and he would try to capture their soul's essence inside of that picture. That was an amazing episode. That was only a few weeks ago about he wanted to come on because he's actually releasing a book and he's going to be talking to us more about that book. If you already saw, if you were here earlier in the show, Sonny Bond Cleveland is going to come on again. We're going to do a part 2 because, like I said, some of the stuff that he's gone through has been absolutely. Oh, did I not show you guys? How could I forget that? I didn't show you guys. We only have a few minutes left, but I want to show you some of this, some of the pictures that I took from DC. Man, how did I forget this? So here we go. So this was just one of the videos for the lobby right here. Wow, I can't believe I forgot that. I hope I don't get copyright issues for that. But yeah, so that was the main lobby of the hotel. Right here is my main man, Aaron Himes. He is actually the president of the E360 television network. And here we are at the Washington Monument, just taking pictures, chilling, having a good time. We were just walking through all the exhibits. And like I said, it was absolutely an amazing time. Let me see what else we got over here. This is actually with David Vardaman. We were going, having a good time, just eating food. He showed me some of the best spots down there in DC to eat. Here we go. This was just another exhibit or monument. I'm not sure what the best word to say is here, but here's a video of what we were watching over there with all the fountains. It was so much fun. So much fun. And this I don't know if you guys have ever seen this one before. This is the Lincoln, obviously this is Abe Lincoln, but when you go to visit this in person, and maybe you could even see it here, there's something about his eyes that are just so captivating and are so lifelike. Like he's just looking into the future, and he's just a man of supreme confidence. And he always stood up for what he believed to be was right. And I got to read more about his story because I'm just looking at this statue and looking at this monument is absolutely incredible. Just look at that sheer determination in his face. It was so awesome to see all of that going on over there. And then this was us. One of the kids that I met over there is my guy over here. This is Aiden. I met him over at the event, and it was just such a good time going over there. This is at a sports bar. We were grubbing. We were eating good food. So it was just such a good time. It really was an amazing time. So I hope you guys have a great, wonderful weekend. Go Warriors! Like I said, the game starts in an hour, so if you need something to do. If you're not working on yourself, or if you haven't done your meditations for today, I'm going to recommend you do meditation number 1. But the NBA Finals is going to be coming on in an hour. Go into this weekend always being yourself, being confident in yourself, and always remember to be of service to other people, because that is when you will start to see the magic into your life. When you're always giving, you're just leaving more room to receive. And it's a beautiful cycle. The more that you receive, the more that you can give. And the more that you give, the more that you can receive. So I hope you guys have a great, wonderful weekend. Go out there, go accomplish anything that you want to do. Go conquer your fears. Go do everything that it is that you need to do for this weekend with a great positive outlook. And I'll see you guys for another episode of Weekly Dose of Dano TV. For next week, we got Kyle coming on next week, and it's going to be another great week and another great episode for Weekly Dose of Dano TV and the Positivity Posse. I'll see you guys next week for another episode. Peace.